Okay, so I'm going to recording this and see maybe I can give you any review. And while I'm recording, I'm now using Magnify and try to do with me, or I can play I can put the recording somewhere maybe on YouTube. So here I'm logging into my Linux and I entered into /dev directory alias. And I can see I have SDA. I have SDA, SDB, SDC, SDD, and also SDA. Under SDA, I have SDA1, which is the first partition of the SDA of the first disk. I have SDA2, the second partition. So we can try to create a partition on SDB. If you have SDB, we can use command called fdisk. And to make change of the disk, we run sudo in front of any commands. So let's try to use sudo fdisk /dev/SDB. Now I'm under this fdisk command. The prompt is changed. This is not regular Linux prompt. This is under this command. This prompt is as command M for help. This is under fdisk command. So if you type M for help, I'm like manual. It gives you the usage of this fdisk. So to create a partition, we can use n for new partition. So how to change the color? Line color. Yeah. So this is the n to add a new partition, and p to print the partition table. So the drawing disappears by itself, right? That's interesting. I've never seen this feature. But anyway, this is good. Otherwise, it creates lots of messy. So this is maybe I choose different pen. The second pen, vanishing pen. Anyway, so N is adding new partition. P is print the partition table. D is deleting partition. We can use L, list known partition type. So Linux support many partition types. And T, we can change partition type. Once we finished, we use W, write the table, partition table to disk, and exit, or Q without saving, quit without saving. So we are going to type a P first to print partition table. So P for print, to print partition table. This is a brand new disk. We haven't done anything yet. And you see the disk size is 20 GB. This is the size we gave last time. And there's no partitions. And we treat them as a new disk. So therefore, we didn't see anything. And later, after we create some partitions, we can use the P command again to see the partition table. And now I'm going to use N to add a new partition. I press N to add new partition. And here we can add two types of partition, primary partition or extended partition. So primary partition, maximum is 4. Maximum is 4. So you see 4 free here. So you can add 1 primary partition, 2 primary partition, 3 primary partition, or 4 primary partition. If you wanted to have more than 4 partitions, you create one extended partition. Extended partition is like a container, like a box. This is a container, like you can have like a smaller partitions inside the box. So this is, we call it E, extended partition. Within extended partition, you create additional logical partition. So this is to overcome the limitations of 4 partitions. So now I'm going to create one primary partition. So I type P. Actually, I don't have to type anything. It says default P. So I don't type anything. I just press enter. Or you can type P. That's not a problem. So I don't type anything. And you see here, partition number is 1 to 4. There's no 5 for primary partition. If you have 5, which means it's a logical partition in extended partition. So extended partition is a container, and within the extended partition, you have logical partition. Then you could have beyond 4, or beyond 4. So right now, I can create 1 to 4 primary partitions. And I want to create the first partition. Default is 1. You can type 1 or you don't type anything. You just press enter. And so the Linux here, I use specify the sectors. So the disk, if you see a disk, they have a physical structure called a sector. So disk is let me search online to see if I can find any pictures. You understand the sectors. So you see hard disk sector. It shows maybe this one is better. It's a cylinder. So disk physical structure is a cylinder. And you see the sector. This is the piece of units. This is a piece of units the Linux could allocate for the partition. The whole round circle is a track. You know, you can go to a gym, you run a circle, is a track, right? And within the track contains many sectors, and sector is the smallest unit you could use to save data. So sector is the smallest unit. So this is the sector. And lots of sectors can make a whole track. And lots of tracks makes the platters. And lots of platters make the disk. You see this the platter, right? So in this picture shows 3 platters. So each disk, the circular, the whole like a plate is a platter, and 3 platters. And each platter may have many tracks. It doesn't say how many tracks. And each track, they have many sectors. So you can specify first sector. You cannot use sectors before 2048. Sectors before 2048 is used to save partition information. So therefore, the first sector start with 2048. You can accept it, press enter. And now you specify how many sectors you want to give for this partition. This is sometimes confusing because many times we want to specify size of a partition like kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, or terabytes, or petabytes. So here, kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes, or petabytes. So we that's more human friendly. Actually, one sector is 512 bytes. One sector is 512 bytes. So you can think 2 sectors is 1 kilobytes. 2 sector is 1K. But again, they're still confusing. If you want to create create a partition, you want to specify size. We specify size. We say, you see, we can use this. Let's try, we put 1G. So you can say 1G. 1G, then we use gigabytes. 1G is gigabytes. Oh, sorry, it's here. Don't let me see. We use this format. We add a plus. Let's try plus 1G. Okay. So it says create a new partition 1 of type Linux. This is the default type. We haven't specified type yet. So default type is Linux and size is 1 gigabytes. So then we create new partition. And now you can use P to print partition table, and you see the partition you just created. Now you see this is STB1. And you can imagine if you create second partition will be STB2, third partition will be STB3, and fourth partition is STB4. And you see the sector start is 2048 and ending sector is 2099199. So let's do some calculation. So I use this Windows terminal, do some calculation like my calculator. Open the Windows terminal. Let's do some calculation. So the end sector is 2099199 and minus 2048. So I have 2097151 plus 1, right? So you know how to do this math? So let's say I give you an example here. Let's say I have sector 1 to 2. Then I have total 2 sectors, right? So basically 2 minus 1 plus 1 equals 2, right? If I have sector 1 to 10, how many sectors? John? You don't know? Okay. So let's say I have a student number 1 to student number 10. How many students? No idea? So you have student 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Student 1, student 2, student 3, student 4, student 5, student 6, student 7, student 8. How many students? 10? Student 1, student 2, student 3, student 4, student 5, student 6, student 7, student 8. How many students in this room? Hmm? How many students in this? Huh? 8. Okay. So I put the sector 1 to 8. I have 8 sectors. When you do this math, you use 8 minus 1 plus 1, right? Equals 8. You use this. If I say student 2 to 8, how many students? If, hmm? So use 8 minus 2 plus 1 equals 7, right? Is that right? Okay. So if I if I have sector 2048 and ending sector is 2099199, so I use 2099199 minus 2048 plus 1, right? Is 209152. You get this number, right? This number. I'm trying to explain you how this number are getting here. So you plus 1. Don't forget to plus 1. So this is the number of sectors. Each sector is 5. Each sector is 12 bytes. So I times 512. So this is the number of bytes. This is the number of bytes. Okay. This is the number of bytes. And this is 1 gigabytes. Okay, 1 gigabytes is 1. How many zero? 1 gigabyte is how many zero? John, do you know? 1 kilobytes, how many zero? Do you know? 1K. How many zero after 1? Do people say salary, say 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K? Do you say that way? Huh? 3. Okay, 1K is 3 zeros. And 1 M, how many zeros? 1 M, 1 megabytes? 6. And 1 gigabytes? Yeah. No, megabytes is 6. Gigabytes is 9. You plus another 3 zero. So this much bytes. Okay. So this is 1 gigabytes. 9 0. Huh? 0. After 1 is 9 0, right? So this is a very large number. So roughly this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we try to create a second one. Let's use n. Uh, n p 2. Starting point is 2099200 because last time was ending was 2099199. So the first partition ending is 2099199. And the second partition start is 2099200. So it's continuous. There's no gap. There's no gap. Okay, so you start, this is the first partition start and end. And your second partition start just to simply continue. And now you can give a number of sectors if you understand the sectors now. Or we can give another maybe 500 megabytes, 500 amp. So now I have SGB2. Now I have STB2. Once you are satisfied, you use W, quit, and save. Save and quit. And I run ls, and I have SDB1 and SDB2. I have two partitions. SDB1, SDB2. Okay. This is one I just made. So we have a new disk. We make two partitions. The first partition is 1 gigabyte. Second partition is 500 megabytes. So my disk is 20 gigabytes. Okay, my disk size is 20 GB. So I just used 1.5 gigabytes. So this is the disk to make partition. And then we need to format the partition. Before you can add data to the partition, you need to format it. Format basically will tell the disk structure how data is saved. So we use sudo. When we make a partition, we use MKFS. When we use MKFS, we can create partition. MKFS is like make partition or the format partition. We can make one of the popular partition is ext4. ext4. Where's my drawing here? So one of them is we use MKFS ext4. This is one of the popular partition types. MKFS dot ext4 def sdb1. So this is the command to make the partition. Now this partition is ready to use. So basically, when you receive a new disk, you first create a partition, then you format the partition. Okay. But how to use this disk, this partition? We need mount. Linux has a concept called mount. We need to mount the partition before you can save the data. And partition has a mount point. So the mount point is an empty directory. So I'm going to, let me see if I open this. Let me see if I could. We can make an empty directory. We can make empty directory called home temp. So let's create this sudo mkdir. Mkdir is to create a directory and /home/temp. HOME, I had a typo. And ls home, and you have temp. So we make a mount point. We make a mount point. This is the mount point /home/temp. And we sudo mount def sdb1 to home temp. So now we can save the data to /home/temp, and the data is saved to the new partition. So let's try to save the data. Touch home temp A. Permission denied. Maybe I'll do sudo ls home temp A. So now you can save the data to temp to this partition.